Brother Tafari, I'm not gonna start introducing them because I'll talk too long. So I'm gonna let him just go for it himself. I just want to tell him how much I appreciate him being part of our faculty. Brother Tafari.
I appreciate you too. I was born. No, I'm kidding. So good evening, everyone. I hope that you're well, that your families are well, that your friends are well, that their families are well. I'm Tafari Melisizwe. I've been teaching at I believe, for 4.5 years as well, and in a number of different roles. This year, I am teaching a class that I taught last year that I'm really excited about called Social Studies Meets Social Justice, also known as Living the Grounding. And what this class is, the brainchild of this class is I'm 30 years old. I've co-directed a few nonprofit organizations, all that kind of jazz. One that I'm particularly proud of was an organization for people that are in the Atlanta area, Habesha, helping Africa by establishing schools at home and abroad. I co-directed the Baltimore chapter in 2011 to 2013 or so. And one of the things I loved about that experience that I brought to my teaching practice is that it was the first time that I got to respond to what a lot of young Black students were needing. I taught in schools before. I'd been engaging with young people before, but it was really dope to get the opportunity to just like go off script and dive into the things that are usually reserved for like the fringes of learning, the fringes of discourse. Like, let me tell you about this, but you can't get the deep vibe of it here. With Habesha, we gave students an opportunity to develop their own relationship to Africa, both conceptually and geographically. And so beyond just saying, oh, it's not what the Western world says, it's like, no, beyond that, and in addition to that, there are contemporary peoples, contemporary cultures, historical cultures that we can connect to, that are ours, that we can link with. And there's a resource there that we can pull from, draw on, and that we also have present here in the United States, wherever we find ourselves, and throughout the African world. And so I've always constructed my classes with that kind of framework of like giving students an opportunity to lead their own learning. And I'm a guide for that learning. And I think that's to tie in one of the questions that Mama Fia asked. What I love most about teaching at Aya is that it is genuinely a space to create a community of learners and to cultivate a love of learning. Our students are our students. You all know your children, and we're into everything, and that's completely fine. And at Aya, as Mama Evelyn alluded to, like there are high expectations, and there's a lot of support. Like what we ask is not beyond them, and even if they're not aware of that yet. And so we lovingly invite them into their growth. And I think with my class, Social Studies Meets Social Justice, like I give my students an opportunity to develop a personal and intellectual relationship with common topics that we talk about, be it Pan-Africanism, Black nationalism, environmental studies, anti-capitalist work, so on and so forth. We dive into history based on their interest, based on some fundamental texts that I want to share with them, and then also give them the opportunity to engage the real world. And so I would invite parents who are interested in Aya to write down these three names. One is Ruha Benjamin, Ruha, and then Benjamin as it's normally spelled. Um, Sheun Kuti, I'll put these in the text chat as well. SeunKuti, and Amari Rebel, AmariRebe. And these are three folks, among others, that occasionally throughout the semester, both semesters, I bring people who are out in the world. Amari Rebel, Mama Fia, people who are out in the real world, doing organizing work, doing Pan-African grassroots work, professors, doctors, grassroots organizers, what have you, and give them the chance students to just interface with them one-on-one based on subject matter that they're talking about. And I invite you to check out those three people so you can see like the quality of the love that those people have for our people. And that's what I bring into the classroom and try to create a space where the students have an appetite for our history, for our culture, and for our people. And yeah, no, I love teaching at Aya. Previously, I love teaching at Aya so much. I've taught like 4 different subject matters. I'm a photographer, so I've also taught a class called Light Riders, picking up with where Baba Wekesa has led that class for a long while. I taught an introduction to African architecture class maybe 2 years ago with a really, really talented woman named Marili Okuma Buma, who's doing amazing work. And so my whole thing is exposing our students to the best of what we have to offer and give them the chance to develop their own relationship to it. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Brother Tafari. For those of you who are not familiar with Aya culture yet, Mo just means right on. Amen. Yes, so it is.